Okay, welcome back to How to Play Sins. Like I said in the first part, I am not amazing at this game. I am better than anyone who has never played it before. On that note, if I do miss something, if someone who is better than me watches this and I do end up missing something important or getting something wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. Okay, so like I said in the last one, we're going to be going over the UI, basically just this UI right here, everything you see when you get in game. And by what I mean is, like I said, all this shit right here. So we're not going to go over like all of this going into here, but we will go over this right here. We're not going to go through each individual tab though and go in and like what's all this stuff and shit like that, but we will just go over the basics of each tab. So starting at the top right hand corner, you have your buy and your sell. So this is, the red is buy, so you use your credits, which are right here, this little credit CR emblem thing right here, and your credits are to the right of that emblem. So these are your credits right here. I have 15,000 credits, and then to the right of my credits is the titanium right here. And then to the right of the little titanium symbol is how much titanium I have. So I have 2,700 titanium right now. And then to the right of that is deuterium. I have 900 deuterium right now. And to the right of that, like I said, this is your buy and sell. You can buy titanium for credits, or you can sell titanium in the green for credits. So the number that you see, it's constantly going up and down, is how much you will get. So the green is how much you will get for titanium. And I think you sell about 250 titanium and deuterium every time you click it. So right now we're at 2,800 and went down to 27. So it's only 100 titanium. However, if you hold shift, you can see the number went up a lot. So if we click that, it sold, I think that was 500 titanium. So you can sell it in quantities of 100 or 500. I might be wrong with those numbers, but that's the very basics of it. You can buy and sell titanium there. So if you have a large amount of one resource and you want another, you can sell that resource, get some credits, and then use those credits to buy another resource. And like I said, you can hold shift and it will increase the amount that you buy. Coming over to the left of your credits, this little symbol right here, this is your fleet supply. This is what you would use to buy ships. Obviously not buy ships, you still have to use your resources to buy ships, but this is basically how many ships you can have active at once. That's not the set number because each ship has a different type of supply that they use. So one ship might use 12 fleet supply, another ship might use 6, another ship might use 20. So you won't have 79 active ships. Obviously you can get to 79 ships, but your supply isn't the exact number that you will have. As you can see from hovering over in the bottom right corner, I have 2 capital ships and 2 Oni sloops. So the Oni sloops only cost 1 fleet supply, but each capital ship costs 20 and the other one costs 25. So once those capital ships get destroyed, 20 fleet supply and 25 fleet supply will go back into my fleet supply that I can spend to buy more ships, along with the resources that it costs to build those ships. And then to the left of that is your capital ships. So capital ship crews available. Right now I have 0 because I already have 2 capital ships out that I spawned with. Basically, capital ships cost 1 capital ship crew. So you can get that in your tech tree. Same with fleet supply. You can upgrade both of those in your tech tree. And most capital ships, I think all of them cost 1, and then the Titan will cost 2 capital ship crews. So the difference between the capital ship and the regular frigates or cruisers that you would just buy with fleet supply we'll go over in a different video. But to get a capital ship, you would need capital ship crews, and this is where you would find out how many you have. This number right here. To the left of that is the criminal underground, or the black market, whatever you want to call that. It's just a place where you can buy and sell more deuterium and titanium, and you can set offers and shit like that there. And then you can also interact with the pirates here as well, so you can place bounties on people and stuff like that if you have the pirates in your game. And then to the left of that is the tech tree. We're gonna go over this in an entire different video. This is a video on its own just because there's so many different tabs and what each tab is and stuff like that. So this is where you would find your tech tree to start researching stuff though. To the left of that, you have relationships. This is just a standard view of all the players in the game and what your relationships are with them basically. So if you want to hover over the enemy, you can see your current standing with them. And then you can also click other people and see their standings with all the other players in the game as well. And then to the left of that, we have diplomacy. This is very similar to the relationships tab, but in this one, you can actually give credits. You can see your relationship standing. Like I said, you can, if you're at peace with somebody, you can go to war. This is where you would do all of the stuff that would be required to get a diplomatic victory, basically. And then to the left of that, we have these 2 buttons right here, which is zoom to cursor, which I believe is always enabled. It just means that basically, you see my little cursor right here out in the middle of nowhere. It's going to zoom in and go over to that whenever we get into a gravity well. Or let's say we want to go to the sun. I just bring my cursor over to the sun, bring it back over to my home world, zoom to cursor basically. And then right underneath that is cinematic mode. It's basically just turns off all of the stuff. So if you're in a battle or something like that and you just want to see all the ships going at it, you don't want any of the icons or anything like that, then you won't see it unless you hover over the ship like this. But we turn that back on, we got the little space grid and we can see everything. And then to the left of that is just your game menu, just your basic settings menu. And then to the left of that, it's just your name. So yeah, there's nothing really special about that. Moving over to the left over here, this is where you can see where all the planets that you have colonized are. You can have them expanded or you can just toggle them to be not expanded, so you only see the icons right here. The icons on the left, the little dots on the left, these are all of your like buildings, shipyards, stuff like that. And the ones on the right, these are all your ships that you have on that planet or in that system or whatever the hell you want to call it. So every time you colonize a new planet, it will show up over here and you can see it on this and you just get a basic overview of what's going on in that little planet area. And then up at the top, you can have stacked or not stacked on. Basically what that does is you see right here, all these right here, when it's expanded, if I click stacked, then it just stacks all the stuff instead of having it expanded like that. So if there's multiples of one thing, it'll just stack it. And then to the left of that, you have search. You can find various things. If you're playing on a very large map, it comes in handy. And then pin selection basically just pins stuff to the top of this, to the top of the bar up here. So I don't really use this whole thing over here that much. I kind of just click this and have it not expanded and then just leave it as it is. And then what I mainly use it for is whenever enemies jump into your system, you'll see them to the right of this. So like I said, the dots on the left are your ships and the dots to the right or the dots on the left are your buildings and the dots to the right are your ships. I got that mixed up for a second. But right next to your ships, more dots will appear over here whenever enemies join in. So if enemies jump into your planet, then let's just say yellow dots would pop up right here or whatever color you chose for them. Moving on down to here, this is just basically a bunch of reports of stuff that's going on in the game. So if somebody builds like a Titan or one of those random events pops up, you'll get that under threat reports. Diplomacy reports, anything that has to do with diplomacy, you'll get reports for that down there. And then production reports, whenever you're finished building your Titan, a capital ship, or a bunch of frigates or whatever, that'll come up over there. And then planet reports, whenever you're done like exploring a planet or upgrading planet's capacity, stuff like that, that'll go up there. Moving over to here, before we get into all these buttons down here that aren't there right now because I don't have anything selected. But moving over to the left, you have ping. Basically, whenever you're in a multiplayer game or you're playing 2v2 with AI, you can use ping and it'll just ping the planet like that and your partner will know that that's a point of interest. And then these two buttons right here, right below it, increase game speed, decrease game speed, pretty self-explanatory. You can use your plus and your minus on your keyboard right next to the 0 key. That'll basically automatically do it for you. Goes all the way up to ×8 and then all the way back down to ×1. Auto play structures, I usually play with that off. Basically, let's turn it on and I'll show you what it does. You turn auto play structures on and click on your planet and let's go and say we want to build a dry dock. See, dry dock just appeared right here. We'll right click it and make it disappear. We'll click it again and there, it just automatically appears. But let's say we want to choose where to place it. Let's turn autoplay structures off, which is this little icon right here, right below the game speed thing. Come over here, we'll click the dry dock. And now we can choose wherever we want to place that dry dock. And this little thing right here, if you don't have anything selected, it's just your icon. But for instance, let's select a capital ship. Boom. Now you can see kind of like the blueprint or whatever of that capital ship. And whenever you hover over that, it'll pop up on the right side of your screen. All the not the settings, but the stats for that, its current health, stuff like that. And right below that, whenever you have something selected, you can see the health and the antimatter as well for that. Moving on to the left of that, we have a rename. Basically, we can click on anything, basically a planet. I don't know if it works with a dry dock, does it? It doesn't. Okay. So planets and ships, basically, we'll use a ship. Click on this capital ship. Right now it's called the UNSC Danger Zone. We can click rename and then we can go, oh, it's already full. I was going to put Highway 2 and then it was going to be Highway to the Danger Zone. But you can just come over here and you can delete everything if you want. I'm going to keep UNSC, but let's just put UNSC, I don't know, UNSC rename, and then hit enter and UNSC rename. And then right beneath rename, you have scuttle, which is also toggled to Shift S. So if you press Shift plus S, it'll automatically do this. But what this does is it will basically scuttle any building or any ship that you want. So let's say you have too many buildings up right now and you can't build anything. Like you have a lot of research stations up, but you have all of your research done and you need to get some more dry docks up. You would just come to that building and you would press either Shift S and then scuttle time remaining. It would scuttle the building in 30 seconds. And then if you're like, no, I don't want to scuttle that, you just click it again and then it would not do it. Or you can just come down here and it'll tell you exactly how many resources you would get for doing it. And then you just click it and it will automatically do it. Like I said, you can do that with buildings, ships, really anything that you see. I don't think you can do it with your constructors though. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, I don't know why you would want to do that though. That is basically everything that we need to go over. Oh, down here, this is just your rankings. So whenever you're in a game, like right now it's just the 2v2, so obviously I'm losing. That's why everything is in red. And I haven't built anything because we were going over shit, so that's why I'm in last place and I'm losing. But this isn't really, I don't really use this for anything. It kind of just, it's there to show you what you're ranking in the matches. So if you're in like a really large game, it'll tell you like, oh, you're the second greatest empire right now, but that might not be true because the first one just lost his entire fleet or something. You know, I don't really use it that often, but it's there if you just want to look at it. So you got your empire ranking, your military ranking, and your economy ranking. All right, let's go over this little thing right here. So whenever you select something, stuff will appear down here. So we'll go over the planets first. So if you want to build ships, you can just click on the dry dock and then you'll get these two emblems right here. But if you have dry docks within your planet's gravity well, this little thing right here, this is the gravity well, then you can just click the planet and it'll select all of, so you could, if you have a Titan factory up, you can just click the Titan. Right now it's grayed out because I don't have a factory. If you have a capital ship factory like we do, you can click that and you'll go into capital ships, combat vessels. We do have a combat vessel one, that's the two smaller dry docks. And then auxiliary craft is basically these two smaller dry docks as well. You can just click that and that's how you can go into your ships and view all those. But each individual planet has a rally point. So you can click set rally point and basically just click anywhere you want to put it. Like if you want your rally point to be the sun, then you can click that and all your ships will go to the sun and they'll wait there until you tell them what to do. But if you just want them to, let's say you want them to gather up over here, that way they're ready to jump to this planet, then as soon as they come out of the dry docks, they'll go over here and they'll wait. Okay, and moving on to the two purple icons, the one on the right, or in the middle, I guess we'll say, is the tactical structures. That's where you can build defensive buildings and stuff like that to defend the gravity well. And then to the left of that, you have logistical structures, which is basically the dry docks, where you would find all your mining stuff and just research stuff, all the buildings that you see. And then to the left of that, the very left, your planet development. This is where you would find upgrades for your planet. So if you want to increase your logistical capacity, so you want to place more buildings down, your tactical capacity, stuff like that, that's what that is. So that's basically what you get when you click on a planet. But when you click on a capital ship, you also get stuff like this. So this is your ability management. So if you click this, you can choose different abilities, like you can get a nuke. So each capital ship can have a nuke and it'll launch that nuke if you buy that upgrade, stuff like that. So every time your capital ship levels up, you'll get a new upgrade for ability management. And then you have squadron management. So depending on the type of ship you have, some ships have the ability to carry fighters. So that's where you can build those fighters. This is tactics management. This is where you can basically set what group of ships are going to be in certain fleets, set the stance for those ships, if you want them to hold fire, if you want them to wait until they're close, or if you just want them to attack anything that jumps within the gravity well. And this little icon in the middle is move. If you click this, you can basically click it and then it'll move right there. Or you can just highlight the ship and then right click anywhere and it'll move as well. But the good thing about this is if you have a fleet or if you have multiple ships, like let's say these two ships, I grab those two ships and I want them both to go here. You can see this ship is closer, so this ship is going to jump first. But if I right click this and you see it added two more arrows to the side, that means that this ship is going to wait for this ship to get over here, and then they're both going to jump together. That way they can go in as a group and defend each other, basically. It's very useful. I usually just have that always on, but it's good to go back to this and make sure that that is selected before you jump into different planets, because sometimes if you add new ships to a group of ships, then then it won't be fully selected. And to the left of that, it's just a stop sign. It's literally stop. So like right now, this little ship right here, let's say he's moving to here. We just click stop and bam, he just stops. That's what that does. Auto attack is basically anything. It's about to do it right now. So if I hit stop, boom, it's already auto attacking because auto attack has this little refresh circle right here. So it's just constantly automatically doing it. And then if I right click auto attack and turn it off, it won't attack this. That's how that works. I just have auto attack always on because just always have it on. And then if you want to click on your construction drones, you do have access to all this stuff as well. This is just deconstruction and this is construction. So normally these two work automatically, so I wouldn't even worry about it. Or if you just want to build logistical structures from here, you can. But like I said, you can also do that from the planet. I don't think I've missed anything, but that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure I covered basically everything. But if I didn't and somebody noticed that I missed something, feel free to correct me in the comments. That's basically that. Like I said, I think these are going to go up on Wednesdays. I said that in the last one, so I'm still going with Wednesdays, but that could change. I haven't started uploading these yet. I'm going to wait until I have all 7 of them recorded and then upload them. But the next one that I'm going to do is going to be all of the tech tree explanation. So stay tuned for that one. And if you want to subscribe and all that shit, I'm not going to do what everyone does at the end of the videos, but if you want to, I'm not going to stop you. So I will see you guys in the next one.